everyone, it's me, and it is time for week 2 of Inktober, and I figured I would show you what I did the same way I did last week of the sketches I drew with my left hand and the finished products I did with my right hand. So the pretty side and the not so pretty side. So for day 1 of week 2 was crooked. Originally I thought I was going to do a monster with crooked horns. I really just didn't want to go that route, especially because I had drawn this little guy with the crooked horns. So I started thinking of different things I could do, and I started out with this little cat monster thing with a crooked tail and a crooked horn. I was testing some ink. And then I kind of started messing with this witch, and then I got to thinking about maybe she's an earth witch. So I came up with this little beauty, and she's an earth witch, and she conjured a tree monster. So her horn's crooked, and he's got some crooked branches coming out of his head, and I really love how it came out. I decided to do a little more realistic than what I had been doing the past few days of the more cartoon comic-y style with this one. And this is the sketch I did for the tree. You can see I blocked out where the witch is supposed to be. That way I knew more or less what I had to draw of the tree, because there was no point in drawing the entire tree. Excuse me. So for day 2, or rather day 9 of week 2, the prompt was Screech, and I initially had thought of a frog and a tea kettle type situation, and honestly a couple things happened with that day. One, I felt terrible, and 2, I felt terrible. I was in so much pain. I didn't even pick up my book until way late. I didn't want to do anything because of the pain levels, and the tree frog, or the frog tea kettle idea that I had in my head, it was not coming together, and I didn't do it. I didn't even do a practice sketch because I didn't want to waste any more energy that I had stored up throughout the day and lose that with my drawing, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a large drawing. So I tried to do as much as I could, and sadly this is all I could do, but I like how she turned out. It's a owl warrior, and I think that this could potentially become a really cool creature sometime down the road in the future, so look out for that. Day 10, I wasn't doing any better, and that was for gigantic, and I wanted to do like a flea or tick towering over a dog. Again, I wanted to store up all my energy for doing the final product, so I did not do a sketch. And sadly, this is my flea. I'm so sorry. I was not having it at all. So it's standing over some sort of like poodle, I guess you could say. So on day 11, I did do a sketch. Day 11's prompt was run. And I wanted an evil genius lab with a snail drinking a running potion. So I did a practice of a snail. Kind of got an idea of him going super fast. So like the little antennae things are going backwards, and his eyeballs even going backwards, and he's leaning forward, and his shell is kind of going back. And when I was telling my dad about how much I hoped that I would be able to push through the pain, because I'd been looking forward to drawing this since I saw the prompt. And we started joking about it, and he's like, the snail should drink a turtle potion and be thinking to himself that he's so glad he drank the turtle potion, because if he had drank the frog potion, then he would have gone way too fast. So I kind of went along with that, and even though you can't really tell in the final product, you know, when I posted it, the idea, I wrote a little thing about it. So I did the sketching and then the color or the outline itself one day on the day 11, and then I finished coloring it in over time, and I actually finished it today. It took me a long time to do all the coloring just because I've had to take it so slow. Oh, chronic pain. So much fun. Yay. But we do what we can when we can, and we make it work, right? So this is my little mad scientist lab, and there's the turtle potion and the frog potion and just a few little things. This didn't turn out quite like I had hoped it would. Kind of had this idea of a blue and green potions mixing to make the, or excuse me, blue and yellow mixing to make green, which made the frog or the turtle, probably the frog. And I didn't blend it very well. So, but, you know, I like it. And I like the little details on my snail focus. Yeah. So, and I really like how this turned out too. This paper soaks up liquid like nobody's business. So it started pilling on me with my watercolor markers. So this isn't the best paper. Yeah, but it works pretty good. So I can't be too mad about it. Day 12 was shattered, and I really wanted to do a piggy bank living wild in the forest. So I sketched out a couple different ideas for piggy banks and a broken, shattered piggy bank there. And then another sideways one. Pretty well went with that idea. I only did one piece of the shattered, totally shattered, not fixed little bank down there. As you can see what I was talking about with the paper really soaking up liquid, this is that ink, and it just, it doesn't have that nice look like the alcohol marker gives me, because that paper just soaks it up so fast. But I really like it. And you're going to notice blue becomes a background theme for some reason. Day 13, oh my gosh, what a prompt. It was killer. It was so hard to think of something, but originally I was like, oh, let's be really ambitious, and we're going to do, the prompt itself was teaming, and I really thought about doing like a giant bee made of bees, or giant ant, or flowers, or then I was like, well, okay, how about the giant bee guarding the flower? So I started sketching out some ideas, and I had a giant bee guarding a flower, and it's like the more I looked at it, I'm like, how am I going to get a bunch of little bees inside the big bee? So I was like, maybe I do a bunch of little bees around the bee to kind of give depth and everything to that. So then it's like, what about a flower made of bees? As you can see, that got muddied very quickly. Then I went with kind of a killer bee style instead of more of a, I guess, honeybee style, maybe. So I came up with these awesome little guys. The helmets and the swords are actually silver. They always show up more of a white when I take the picture. It's a really cool silver paint type ink pen. So I didn't want the color of the sky to be blocked out all the way down, so I let it kind of feather across like that. And you know, I tried to put some white over the wings, but yeah, it really doesn't show at all. So I just added the veining details. You can see I kind of messed with the wings a little bit on these two smaller guys. Tried some different ideas, and I just preferred this idea with that. So last and certainly not least was today. And today's prompt was fierce. And immediately as I was writing this list, what came to mind was fierce art supplies. I don't know why art tools came to mind, but that's what came to mind. So I wrote down different art supplies: markers, erasers, pencils, paints. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. Anyways, I wrote down a bunch, and then I sketched out the 3 I really liked the most out of it. A marker, an eraser, and a paint tube. The eraser's holding a pencil, and the marker's holding a ruler. And then I kind of sketched out a couple of fierce eyes and lips. And I really love the paint. I love the paint. So what I wound up with for today is this very colorful page. And yeah, I still really love that paint. And like I said, yeah, lots of blue backgrounds this week. I'm not sure why. Maybe next week my practice will be to use a different color background. So they're all on an art table. I made everything kind of big, so otherwise they'd be, you know, small little details and too hard to see. So there's an epic, fierce art supply battle going on here, and it's on the art desk, and they're being lit up by the lamp. So there it is, week 2 done with great success to some extent. It was a rough one, especially those 2 days. Hopefully this next week won't be so bad, but you never know. We'll see what happens. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that I hope that you all have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye.